Hey everyone, welcome to the best US Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silverstacker. In today's supplemental numismatic news and information for the 17th day of October, we're going to pop over to money metals because those prices are coming down. But my question is, should we be worried? Now, before any of that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to a bazillion subs. It's actually a really big number. You can look it up on the Google machine. It's ginormous. Also, we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. I never know what I'm not going to say. Now, let's bounce over to money metals. I can show you those spot prices. So gold is down $77 to 42.6240. Silver down 217. Yeah, that's Michael Jordan's birthday, February 17th, 52.23. Platinum down 104.25 to 16.22.15. Palladium down $98.30 to 15.35.30. And Dr. Copper down 4 pennies to 4.95 per pound. Over here, you're looking at an in-stock American Silver Eagle, whose premium is $9.49 for the quantity of 1 through 39. They still have you paying above $60 at $61.72. Now, what's the sell to them price? That's a great question, as silver is down $2.16. So, yeah, 53.54. So it's finally above the silver spot price. And why do you think they haven't changed it? Well, I don't think anything has changed. Obviously that refinery and the smelters, they want 4 nines fine. They want 3 nines fine. Imagine what that does to the miners who actually, where's their mining? Where's that ore going? Probably nowhere right now, right? I mean, imagine if you could actually open up a refinery or a smelter, you'd probably be doing okay right about now. And I wonder if there would be any new ones implemented here in the next year or so. So that's a great question. But I got to tell you, not only look, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, right? And I think people are using gold and silver as a flight to safety for the devaluation of the dollar. And that's basically why we see these tremendous prices. It's not that these are worth more, it's that our dollar is worth less. We're in the middle of a government shutdown. There's a global trade war. There's a liquidity crisis. There's a crypto catastrophe happening. The housing market is disintegrating. The cost of living is a nightmare. There's mass layoffs potentially on the horizon, not to mention a real estate bubble. The commercial real estate's about to go as well. So that's a lot of factors going on there. Now, let's go into this a little bit deeper here. I got an article from, I think it is Kitco. Yep, there we go. This is Kitco News and Kitco.com, and I'll leave a link in the description for this particular article. The title of this article is, and it's by Jeremy Saffron, "The Great Repricing. Market Models Point to $30,000 Gold Amid Silver Supply Shock." Wow, folks, $30,000 for a gold bar, 1 ounce gold bar. Wouldn't that be something? I tell you, if that does happen, I don't even want to know what it looks like out in the real world. That is wild. Now it says here, Kitco News, while a shocking negative 12.8 reading in the Philadelphia Fed's manufacturing survey triggered recession alarms across Wall Street on Thursday, that's just yesterday, the real story of economic distress was unfolding in the vaults, refineries, and airport tarmacs of the global precious metals market. As spot silver blew past $53 an ounce to all-time highs, a stunning forecast emerged for its sister metal, gold, could be headed to $30,000. Now, where are we at now? 52.01, right? Yeah, $53 an ounce. It's only $1, and from the movement we've seen, we could be back right up at $55 in no time, and it's got some legs. And there's a video you can watch on this too. It says a desperate scramble. Mint CEO reveals. I think it's what Jets. Anyway, we'll keep on keeping on here. You can check that out on their own time. It says that is the prediction from Josh Fair, CEO of Scottsdale Mint, who argues the unprecedented crisis currently seizing the physical silver market is the first major battle in a geopolitical metal war that will ultimately force a revaluation of gold against U.S. foreign debt. This is going to get big and ugly, I think. It says in a wide-ranging interview with Kitco News anchor Jeremy Saffron, Fair connected the dots between the chaos happening today and a long-term endgame where the U.S. dollar's role is challenged by hard assets. Indeed. Now, it says here, and what's interesting is that, if the dollar does completely tank and we get hyperinflation, imagine if you have a bunch of money in savings. What's that going to be worth? And imagine people who have massive amounts of debt. Well, are they going to be the big winners here? Because that debt will be, it's a wild world, folks. It really is quite something that we're up to right now. It says here, you don't even want to know the number or where we're probably headed, it says in quotes, Fair told Kitco News, before laying out a case for gold to rise more than 600% from its current price above $4,200 an ounce. And here we go. This is the Fair Sinclair ratio. There's a guy named James Sinclair. I think he had a business called the Tanzanian Royalty Exploration. It was like uh, anyway, I don't know this ticker symbol anymore, but he's basically the gold guy, the gold guru for a long time. In fact, here we go, Mr. Gold is what they called him. Fair's forecast is based on metric he calls the Fair Sinclair ratio, an homage to the legendary trader Jim Mr. Gold Sinclair, who used it to successfully predict the peak of the 1980 and 2011 gold bull markets. The formula calculates the price gold would need to reach to fully back the portion of U.S. debt held by foreign nations. All right, let me read that again. This is very important. All right, listen up. This is big. It says here, he had, here we go. The formula calculates the price gold would need to reach to fully back the portion of U.S. debt held by foreign nations. That's remarkable, folks. Based on the latest available data, the U.S. Treasury, foreign creditors hold approximately $8.5 trillion in U.S. debt. China does, right? They have a lot. They may be selling it. So does Japan. All right, backing that figure with the nation's stated gold reserves at 261.5 million troy ounces implies a gold price over $32,500. If you take the foreign debt of the United States, not domestic debt, well, that's a whole nother story, isn't it? But foreign debt, its stated gold holdings, that number is over 30,000. Fair explained that it's hit this ratio twice in my lifetime, and why couldn't it do again? Now, this is what's going on with silver, and this is basically, they say, what's going to happen with gold as well. Anatomy of a breakdown. The entire supply chain is seizing. That's right, it's locked up. Fair argued that silver market is providing a real-time case study of how this revaluation begins with the complete failure of the physical supply chain from the mine to the mint. And remember, folks, not only that, we're also looking at a time when we can possibly revalue the gold that we have. I think it's $42 and change. And if they revalue it to, let's say, $1,500, $2,000, maybe even $3,000, what would it look like then? Oh boy. All right, let's keep on keeping on here. It says a case study of how the revaluation begins with a complete failure of the physical supply chain from the mine to the mint. All right, number one, the first bullet point here, the financial rupture. The crisis began when silver lease rates, the cost to borrow the metal, spiked from its usual 1% to 2% to over 100% annualized, making it impossible for businesses to hedge their operations. Here we go with the refinery shutdown. This immediately paralyzed the refining sector, which recycles scrap and produces new investment-grade bars. That's right, 3/9's fine, 4/9's fine, with processing backlogs already at 2 to 4+ months in the future. That is remarkable. So 2 to 4 months right now, 2 months from now, December, 4 months, you're looking at February, maybe even as far out as March. And we have heard that some coin dealers, they're not buying anything until the new year starts. That is remarkable. Refiners could not afford the financing costs. The result has been a complete halt of them accepting any less than 3/9's or 4/9's fine silver. And what kind of silver do you collect? Do you collect 925 sterling? Do you collect 90%? Well, the big boys don't want to even look at it. They don't want to touch it. They only want to touch the 4/9's or 3/9's fine only. And is that an incentive for us to kind of change our direction of what we purchase? Maybe. Some of these places, that's a lesson learned in time, I would imagine. Some of these places where the interest rates are going higher, they're just saying, we can't even take the metal, Fair said. A lot of the industry right now is frozen, not the movie like Let It Go, but they're not taking it. The minor squeeze, here we are. This is probably the scariest part of all. And, miners need capital to stay in business, don't they? It says here, the freeze creates a bottleneck for mining companies. Typically, a bank buys a miner's semi-refined dory bars, and that's basically unrefined silver. There's some other metals going on there. There's probably some gold, maybe some silver in there, maybe some iron ore, maybe even some nickel or what have you. But they're not pure. They're not 4/9's fine. They're not 3/9's fine. They need to be refined to get to that level. And so where does all that ore sit? Where does it go? And I would think that a refinery, if it was a brand new refinery, and how long would it take to create a new refinery? I don't even know. But these dory bars and handles the refining process. Now, with refining taking longer, the bank's just going to have to refactor that rate and basically charge the mining company. This squeezes miner profits and slows the flow of new metal. So yeah, think about that, what it's doing to the miners. Do you think that's going to be helping or hurting their business and their shareholders? And more importantly, the strategic bottleneck. Here we go. This crisis, or the crisis, exposes a critical vulnerability. The U.S. has only two, the LBMA and the COMEX accredited silver refineries. Yowza! And both are Japanese owned. This lack of domestic infrastructure means any global disruption has an outsized impact on the North American market. Folks, we're in a spot. We're clearly in a spot right now. Number 5, the logistical desperation. The shortage in London has forced traders into the costly and unsustainable act of flying silver, a dense heavy metal, across the Atlantic. To put something on an airplane, let's say from New York to London, that's going to cost right around $75,000 right now, fair detailed. That's going to increase the cost too. Normally, that's just going to go on a boat, and it's going to cost a few cents, but not anymore. 75,000 compared to a few cents. That's a big difference. That is remarkable, folks. So there it is. That's what's going on, and that's what they believe is going to happen eventually to gold. And imagine the gold price at that point. If we're at $4,000 right now, what's it going to be when that scenario plays out? That is quite something. That is really, really quite something. Now, let's change gears. I'm going to talk about the 250th Navy. Silver Eagle coins are already reselling. This is from Resell Calendar. I think it's by the group of folks over there. Yep, by RC Staff. They're talking about here, after profitable coin releases in June and August, resellers are back at the table for another feast. I like the way they put that. Is it a feast? I don't know. I think that's an adjective that is pretty much, you can be subjective or objective, however you want to look at that. But there it is. That's the Navy Privy mark, and you may have just gotten yours yesterday or today. Hopefully it is beautiful. No milk spots, no marks, nothing like that going on. We have heard some awful stories that, well, they have been less than, well, acceptable, and some people are sending theirs back. Here we go with the key points. And this is from October 10, 2025. That was just 7 days ago, all right? Key points: 100,000 Navy Silver Eagle coins were minted at the San Francisco Mint facility and sold for $105 through the U.S. Mint's website. Current resale prices are hitting $180 to $200, with some graded versions pushing even higher. That's right. This ones with the signatures on them are going for gonzo prices. And we remember from drop day, I think that there was some emails going around. I don't remember. Maybe it was Pinehurst. They were offering $200, then $180, and then $160 throughout the day. Orders were limited to 1 coin per household for the first 24 hours, though resellers found ways around this restriction. And absolutely, if you watched our live drop, some of the folks actually explained how they were able to get around that 1 per household order limit. The U.S. Mint dropped their 250th anniversary Navy Silver Eagle coins this morning, and resellers are already flipping them for a nearly double retail. They were 105, so 210, right? These limited edition proof coins sold out fast with the same household purchase restrictions we saw on the Army version back on June 13th. That was a Friday the 13th to you and me. Now they're hitting the secondary market, and the profit margins are looking solid. That's another subjective term, rather, right? It says here, Navy 250th anniversary, Silver Eagle proof. The U.S. Mint is commemorating America's 250th anniversary in 2025. Yeah, and they're also, well, wait a minute. No, they're not. That's, I think they're doing it in 2026. I think they're celebrating the Navy, the Army, and the Marine Corps in 2025 with special series of Silver Eagle proof coins honoring different military branches. I guess it's part of America's 250th. I guess. Each release features the classic Walking Liberty design by Adolf A. Weinemann on the obverse and the Emily Domstra's Eagle design on the reverse, which I think pays homage to this 1971 Ike dollar, Walking on the Moon, with a unique privy mark for each branch of service. All right, it's got a privy mark of the branch of service right there. There's a Navy emblem. All right, each coin weighs 1 troy ounce of 3/9 fine silver and comes in a blue velvet satin-lined presentation case with a certificate of authenticity from the Mint. The Navy version specifically features the United States Navy emblem privy mark on the obverse, positioned in the field behind the Liberty just to the left of the Y in Liberty. You know what I'm saying. The coin was struck at San Francisco, California Mint, giving it the S Mint mark instead of the W mark for the West Point Mint in New York that appeared on the Army version. All right. The Navy coin is the second in the series. The Army version dropped in June. That's right, Friday the 13th. It sold out in about 3 hours, with resellers immediately flipping them for similar profits. Shortly after, the Mint also released a laser engraved silver eagle, and I think that was supposed to be actually the first one of the year because that one has I believe the old Mint Director, Ventress Gibson, on there, and the Army one actually had the new acting Mint Director on that one, her signature, and that's Christy McNally, I think is her name, with a laser beam Privy mark that's been performing well on the secondary markets. And I think that's going to be the sleeper, winner, chicken dinner, ultimately, as time goes on. The U.S. Marine Corps version is scheduled to drop in November. That's right, on their birthday, completing the military tribute series for the year. And I believe, let's go ahead and check that one, is going to be November 10, folks, is that day when it drops in November 10. We'll be waiting a few centuries for the Air Force editions. Yeah, I think in 2046 is going to be the 100th anniversary of the Air Force. So they got some time to wait. Now, here we go, 250th anniversary Navy coins resale, because it used to be the United States Army Air Force back in World War II, and then 1946, they're like, you know what, let's just make an Air Force. All right, the Navy Silver Eagle went live on the U.S. Mint website at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time today, October 10. The Mint used their waiting room system again, and they did this morning, actually, if you were trying to get that Navy Privy marked American Silver Eagle. Yeah, it was employed again, which randomly assigns queue position to buyers. And if you haven't seen that video already, I explained the whole process of how, and I'll point out that video to you, how the United States Mint's waiting room works. It's right here. Don't miss this. The United States Mint waiting room for limited edition drops is explained, a must watch. So check that out. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description on this particular video. Some resellers reported getting through in under 5 minutes, while others sat in the waiting room for 15 minutes or more. Once through, the checkout process was relatively smooth compared to previous chaotic drops. That is true, actually. Once you were in and had it in your cart, it was pretty much smooth sailing from there. Now, it says here, the coin sold out faster than the Army version did back on Friday the 13th in June by 9:42 p.m. Eastern. Not sure if that's even correct. I want to say that's definitely off. By 9:42 p.m. Eastern, only 36,182 coins remained available. How do they know that? Compared to 42,323 Army coins at the same time mark during that release. That's interesting. This suggests stronger initial demand for the Navy version, possibly because the collectors who missed the Army drop were ready this time. I think so, and I think so were the resellers, and I think so were the bulk sellers as well, because they priced theirs in a Proof 70 different and a bit higher than they did for the Army, or because naval history has broader appeal. Could be one or the other, or both. Now, the one coin per household limit applied for the first 24 hours, but experienced resellers know how to work around these restrictions using multiple addresses and payment methods. Many were able to secure 3 to 10 coins before sellout, setting themselves up for solid profits once the coins start shipping. Now, here's where we're going to start talking about profits. Raw, ungraded Navy Silver Eagle coins are already listed on eBay and other platforms for $180 to $200. Representing $75 to $95 in profit before fees. After eBay fees of 13%, you're looking at around 60 to 70 net profit per coin. Not massive, but definitely worth it if you secured multiple coins. Like if you got 10 of those, yeah, and you made $60 each, not such a bad day. A little hard work pays off sometimes, right? 195 there, 199 there. Now it says graded versions will command higher premiums. We know this to be true, especially in the 70 and the 69s generally sell for what they are in the raw. NGC and other grading services are offering special labels for these coins, and I'll show you here that in a second. PCGS has some, including first day of issue. That's the FDI designations and military theme labels. We do love those, don't we? A Proof 70 graded coin with special labeling could push $250 to $300 based on what I've seen with the Army version. I think that's off by about $250 to $150. The grading process takes several weeks, so those higher prices won't materialize immediatamente. The real question is whether these coins will appreciate further or plateau. The Army version has remained relatively stable in its since its initial spike, suggesting the $180 to $200 range might be the ceiling for now. Now it says, now what? This is where they talk about the Marine Corps one. The Marine Corps version drops November 10, and based on how the Army and Navy versions performed, expect it to sell out just as fast. Many resellers are planning to go heavy on that release after turning major profits from previous coins. For anyone holding Navy coins, the decision is to whether to flip now or for immediate profit, or hold for potential appreciation. And I think that's if you're a flipper, that's what you have to think about. If you've only got one to flip, if you got 10 to flip, that's a different story. Completing the 3-coin set could create additional value down the line as collectors look to own the full military series. And are you planning on selling all 3 at once in one lot? Or would you rather sell them individually? These Privy Mark Silver Eagles have proven to be reliable flips with consistent profit margins, not life-changing money, but solid returns for relatively low effort if you can beat the crowd at drop time. That is a great article. And let's go over to, I want to show you, this is something from our friend Mickey Minsky sent us. These are special labels over at PCGS, right here, Home Services Special Labels. And I have it featured under all, but we can go to featured. That's fine. Actually, I'll leave it at all. So here we have the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Army, and I think these are similar to what we've seen with the Armed Forces medals. I think they have one for the Air Force. Yeah, there we go. So it's very similar to the Air Force label for the, PCGS excited to offer limited edition label for the new U.S. Air Force 1-ounce silver medals. So there you go. And remember, they also were in the 2.5 ounces as well. And there's the Marine Corps one right there. But is that the one we're going to see going forward? I think that's going to be the one they're going to use. Let's go ahead and open that image in a new tab. I think that's the one they're going to use for the U.S. Marine Corps next time. So that'll be kind of cool. And that makes sense, right? That's the Iwo Jima War Memorial just outside Arlington and Joint Base Meyer in Northern Virginia right there. So let's check out the Navy label, shall we? And there we go. This is it right there. And it says it's available. It's U.S. Navy label. And we can actually go here. And there it is, 2025 S PCGS Proof 70 Deep Cameo Silver Eagle with the U.S. Navy Privy 250th anniversary. And there it is. That's a picture of the ship. That is awesome. A lot going on there. Good stuff. And there is the Silver Eagle with the S mint mark just under that left wing. All right. This is not the mint mark. That's the artist's initials, Adolf Weinemann. All right. So let's go back to PCGS and see if there's any special requirements or I guess procedures that we need to follow here if we're going to submit this. And me, myself, and I'm keeping all of mine in the box, all right, in the original government packaging. And I will be walking them to PCGS at the fun show in less than, 3 short months, right? Because it's going to happen the first week of January 2026. Pick up sticks. All right, here we go with the submission guidelines. The special U.S. Navy label is available to enhance your collection for an additional $7 per label. Worth it, in my opinion. Coins that currently qualify are as follows. 250th anniversary U.S. Navy American Eagle 1-ounce silver proof coin, U.S. Navy 1-ounce silver medal. All right, there you go. You can use either one for that. This exclusive label is only available while supplies last. To receive high-resolution TrueView images, please check off TrueView service and include an additional $5 coin. Now, if you're just flipping these, I don't know if you knew TrueView, and if you're flipping on eBay, you may want to use those TrueView pictures. No minimum quantity required. That's awesome. You don't have to be a bulk person. Not available in conjunction with any other special labels. First strike pedigrees are available in conjunction with this label for qualifying coins. All right, so check that out. You can get that label not available in conjunction with any other special labels. However, first strike pedigrees are available in conjunction with this label for qualifying coins. Available for standard holders only. All right, with $7 per coin label fee as an addition to the selected service level grading fees, with the exception of first strike. If first strike, additional $18, is it worth it? I think it is selected. The $7 label, oh, hey, that's not bad. If you grab the first strike label, that's an additional 18. Well, is selected, then the $7 from here has been waived. For the U.S. Navy label under the for the U.S. Navy label under the other line in the service level section of the submission form, section 7, indicate U.S. Navy label number 903 in addition to the service level. Now here we go with some additional guidelines. Turnaround time for submission is estimated and will vary by demand. Standard shipping and handling fees apply. And don't forget to return and keep the clamshell and the box. It's worth more if you do, actually. Valid for current collectors, club members, and authorized dealers in good standing. You must be a PCGS Collectors Club member or PCGS authorized dealer to submit directly to PCGS. To join PCGS Collectors Club, click here. And I will leave a link in the description for this page that you see here in front of us here today. For any other questions, you got to contact PCGS customer service there Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as they are in Orange County, California, right next to an awesome In-N-Out Burger on Harbor at the 405 freeway. Good stuff. There's the coin again in the holder, U.S. Navy. Good stuff. Now let's go to the +1 action. I've yammered for quite a bit of time. This is Proverb 26, number 2. Like a bird that wanders off, like a swallow that flies off, so an unwarranted curse comes back to he who utters it. This says here, I think what this means is, like birds who return to their nests, so too an unjustified curse will come back to rest upon the head of the one who spoke it. Yowza. You don't want to be that person, right? So make sure that you don't throw out those unwarranted curses. And if we delete this, well, that's a warranted curse. I guess that works. I guess that's okay. I don't know. But isn't it just great to just avoid all kinds of conflict? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe you're cool with that. I wouldn't want to curse anybody, you know? Maybe I already am cursed. Who knows? Maybe that's why I don't like it. Anyway, let's go over here to 39's Fine, 99.9 KOIN Coin News Radio. Whoa. This is Filter. Take a picture. This is the official music video. And it's got a comet streaking across the sky there. I wonder why I put that there. I don't even know. What am I doing over here? Now, with that said, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you're going to see, sub the channel. It's absolutely free. What's not free is going to be membership. It's $1.99 a month, and that's the price of a cheap cup of coffee, or inexpensive, whatever adjective you like to use there. And it sure helps these videos keep coming out each and every single day. I'm going to try and put out 2 per day from now on. We'll see how it works out. Maybe I'll get burnt. I don't know. Maybe I'll run out of content. Who knows? But I'm definitely going to give it a shot. And also want to tell you that we're going to be doing another buy it now for the beaded bracelets that my son and wife have made. And they're absolutely beautiful. In fact, my wife and I were at Epcot the other day, and she sees somebody who's, I think that girl's on TV. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know that show we watch, the No Demo Reno? Or No Demo Reno? I think that's the name of it. Anyway, her name is Jen something or other. She's super hyper, super amazing, super cool. And my wife, they ended up getting her a bracelet. And she wears that now. And it's kind of cool, actually. In fact, in yesterday's video, I pinned the Instagram for her. I pinned her Instagram on the comment section. Anyway, it's pretty cool. It's pretty wild. We've never had anybody famous wear the jewelry until now. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, with that said, we're going to be doing another bin on Sunday evening, and I think it's going to be probably maybe an hour earlier, maybe 7 o'clock instead of 8:30. Now, with that said, y'all have a great rest of your day. Stacker out.